Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. And today I want to come back to you guys with another fan theory brought to me by one of my patrons, a longtime supporting patron at that. And they have a theory that I thought would be really good to discuss with the greater community, which is they think they cracked the mystery surrounding Amato, and that Amato exposed himself in chapter 79 in a major way that we as a fandom have not been paying close enough attention to, which you guys know my thoughts on Amato. If there was ever someone who fit the discussion of being a Tsubaka, I think Amato is that character with no hesitation or debate. So what exactly did my patrons say in their Patreon fan theory? Well, they say they believe Momoshiki was wrong about Amato not knowing about Ada's Shinjutsu, and the reasoning behind this is actually kind of simple. They think Amato was trying to prevent Ada from using her Shinjutsu. In chapter 79, Amato warned and begged Shikamaru specifically not to push and corner Kawaki too far. His reaction just happened to occur right before we learned that Ada possessed the omnipotence ability, and he knew with certainty that Ada would do whatever possible to try and please Kawaki, and they believe that Amato, being oh so smart like he is, was actively trying to prevent these things from coming into contact with one another under these circumstances. Their logic is that Amato knew about the true ability of Ada's enchantment ability, and he has a track record of not revealing new information to readers or characters in universe until it's desperate situations. Alright, so right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it. My patron Fabian might have literally cracked the actual motives of Amato in that chapter while single-handedly destroying any hope that someone has that Amato might be Otsutsuki. And while I do think that on a scale from 1 to 10, this is something that has a very good chance of being the case. If 5 are average, I'd go with this one being a solid 8, and I'll explain why. The moment I read this, I started bashing my head into a wall with excitement over the prospect, and I'm going to bring in some supporting evidence that my patron didn't bring up that I think brings this theory all the way home. Longtime viewers of the channel know that when it comes to Momoshiki and Amato, I have repeatedly called into question whether or not we have to apply the term unreliable narrator to their characters, and it's because of how they've been consistently written. But the idea that Momoshiki was wrong about Amato here actually makes quite a bit of sense. Momoshiki has a track record of not taking humans seriously. He views humans as food for a chakra fruit. He's been shocked by humans more than once. He was shocked by the resolve and the power that Naruto and Sasuke showed against him, to the tenacity of Boruto's strong will to suppress his power in Boruto Naruto Next Generation's chapter 80, to Sasuke defying logic to help Boruto escape because Sarada told him to, and most importantly, Momoshiki was stunned. Amato did something that should be impossible: give a vessel who lost the Karma Seal Karma again without being an Otsutsuki themselves, going so far as to see a newly awakened Kawaki use Karma for the first time and think to himself, what was it that geezer Amato was up to? Momoshiki has been baffled by Amato before, and I don't think it's crazy to say he's underestimating Amato again. And it's worth noting that this would not be the first Otsutsuki that Amato's outsmarted, because he also outsmarted Ishiki's vessel Jigen as well as Ishiki himself. Amato clearly described Ada's charm and control over the human hearts as being a Shinjutsu, which Momoshiki immediately called nonsense on, but it's in character for Amato not to reveal the true nature of the Shinjutsu, even after Naruto demanded he stop hiding secrets. Amato did what he always did, which is withhold information, which is why Shikamaru was so pissed off when Amato revealed he had a shutdown code programmed into Kawaki like he did the Delta clone in code, because they're cyborgs with the exact same type of ninja tech as Kawaki. The reason I think my patron is onto something that Momoshiki would think that Amato wouldn't know about the true nature of the omnipotence, going so far as to say that Amato had no idea the type of power he gave to a teenage girl in Ada, and it's a power that she can't hope to control. It's something very in character for Momoshiki to look down on a human like that. However, Amato hasn't been someone who's miscalculated often. Outside of Kawaki turning on Naruto, everything has gone according to Amato's plan, even when things look like they relied on blind luck, like hoping that Naruto could find a way to deal with Ishiki. There's no way Amato uses ninja tech with Shibai's DNA and puts it inside of Ada without knowing exactly what it is he's done, and from a motivational perspective, it all makes complete sense because it comes back down to reviving his daughter and having her soul placed inside of her clone Delta. Did he think that Ada was destroyed? Absolutely yes. His fear at the sight of her was a genuine shock, something you can tell he didn't calculate for. However, it's important to remember that prior to that, Amato moved forward with this plan to revive his daughter by giving Kawaki Karma again. In exchange, he hoped that Kawaki would take that Karma, that has the genetic material of his daughter, implants it on Delta, her biological clone, and when the Karma Seal extracts, it places her soul into Delta's body, just like Karma would do for Otsutsuki, who placed Karma onto a vessel. However, this is where the wild card of Ada actually comes into play here. Amado likely knew that the only way omnipotence could be used was if Otsutsuki was the one who used it. This was likely why Jigen told Amado he would grant his wish after Kawaki became a vessel. Amado likely learned about the omnipotent Shinjutsu from Jigen, who was Ishiki's vessel. That would explain why Amado was tampering with Shibai's DNA and some of the humans who he made into cyborgs like Ada, and why Jigen wanted them destroyed. It wasn't just about them having power above Jigen. It was the fact that Jigen recognized that he lost leverage over Amado. Jigen saw Amado was trying to both betray him and eliminate the dependency on him, taking away his leverage. Amado needed Jigen to be fed to the Ten Tails and Ishiki to revive in Kawaki, so Ishiki could use omnipotence to grant Amado's desire for his daughter's soul to be placed in the Delta. The omnipotence, when an Otsutsuki uses the omnipotent Shinjutsu, it takes dreams and makes them into reality. There's nothing that says that this wouldn't be something possible. In fact, the narrative implies the opposite. Amado's motives to take out Jigen and Ishiki with those cyborgs basically cut out the middleman. So if he were a drug dealer, he was basically trying to go from being a distributor to being the new connect and having the power to do whatever he wanted. Kawaki is now 100% Otsutsuki. That Karma Seal made him 100%. As my patron said, Amado knew not to let Ada and Kawaki come into contact under those circumstances, and I believe he knew it would lead to the Shinjutsu being casted, and that this was his true final option to revive his daughter if the Karma Seal failed. He would need a living Otsutsuki, i.e. Kawaki, to activate the omnipotence inside of Ada to grant that desire. The only thing is how he'd be able to get Kawaki to go along with it, but assuming he was able to do so, Ada would have willingly complied because she's in love with Kawaki. This doesn't seem above Amado, and he wouldn't have told Shikamaru about the true dangers of pushing Kawaki into a corner like this because it's not in character for him to be completely forthcoming. It's actually the opposite. He keeps his cards to himself and he has the motivation to not reveal this information in order to stay on Kawaki's good side. I do think there's a reason we haven't seen Amado mention or even seen the character himself in the time skip. The last time he himself was physically on a panel was when he was begging Shikamaru not to kill Kawaki or push him into a corner. While we did see him as one of the people affected by the Shinjutsu and Boruto and Kawaki switched sides, the only reason I'm throwing that out is because that part is not something I think we should count. I do believe he's affected by the Shinjutsu, but my point is that the last time he was physically on panel, as in during the current events of the story and not something symbolic like that panel was, where he was shown alongside all the people affected by the omnipotent Shinjutsu, I think there's a reason for it, and I think my patron might have been the one that actually cracks it. Amado knew the truth about Shinjutsu. And to build on what my patron said, I believe it's because it goes back to his goal to revive his daughter. Desperate people do desperate things, including shady things, and they have no problem harming people in the process if it means getting what they want and desire. And as a parent, there aren't many lines that Amado won't be willing to cross for his daughter. Again, some of this relies on, do you think Momoshiki is or is not a reliable narrator, and if you think he was wrong about Amado being unaware of what he did by giving Ada Shibai Otsutsuki DNA. I think after years of watching Amado do slimy things and keep secrets to himself, I don't think we can actually rule this out at all. However, I'm curious to know where you guys stand on this Patreon fan theory. Do you think Amado knew the truth about Ada's Shinjutsu and that Momoshiki was wrong about Amado being ignorant of the truth, while you think that over? Click here to watch these other Naruto Explained videos.